Okay, we're live.
We're live. How are you?
Good. People are already here. I feel like that is a first. Well, people were in the chat.
Well, we have kind of a hot topic, hot guest today, so
I am pumped for today. I'm
people
super
are
excited.
ready.
It does feel so weird though, being a different day and like kind of in the middle of the afternoon. I have
Yeah,
the
like
whole day
it
left
feels
after
like
this.
it's nighttime, but it's not.
For those of you who are just coming in, we are going to be staying on after Lauren leaves us and just chit chatting. So if you guys want to stay on after she goes, have a couple things that we're going to cover. But I'll let Mesa introduce our guest.
I am very excited for today. So today's guest is a household name in the functional fitness or CrossFit space. Lauren has been a reporter and anchor for her local TV stations, a writer for the Morning Chalk Up, a debate show host, which I recently found out about, and currently co-hosts Talking Elite Fitness. She is known as the Queen of Hustle. So please welcome Lauren Kalil.
Woo! Getting all the girls together.
I love it. You're also like, we're on brand. Kate, you missed the memo with our
I
pink
did.
and
Nobody
purple.
let me know. Sorry, guys.
Kate, come on. You knew we were going to show up in pink.
I should have known. I don't know why I didn't think of that. But it's also almost laundry day. So I'm,
dealing with
scraping at the bottom of the barrel here. So that's okay. Next time.
I get that. I did like 4 loads of laundry already today. And you know when you do your comforter and your sheets, and
That's like 3 loads in itself.
I know. It's a whole process. And I made the mistake of starting it yesterday. And then before I went to bed, my comforter wasn't fully dry yet.
Yep,
so I just slept with like a throw blanket, and it just, it wasn't great.
That's why you need 2 comforters so you can rotate.
Oh,
now we're thinking. I like it. I like the ideas that we're already generating here.
in like the same one in 2 different colors.
Oh, so you just have them like on rotation?
So I do like 1 week wash. Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
I don't know why
lives here. Clearly, welcome.
It doesn't look like you're in Albany yet. No, still at home?
No, still in good old Syracuse. So I'm only like 2 hours from there. So my friend Kelly, who also like works with us at Talking Elite Fitness, and she does a bunch of like managing of social media accounts for other people in the fitness space. She is actually on a plane on her way.
Isn't it Kelly who lives in Charleston?
Yeah.
I know her.
Kelly.
Yeah.
I'm sure you both have seen her or run into her or communicated on Instagram before. But she's on her way to my house, and we'll spend the night. We'll go out to eat here, and then we're gonna leave for Albany in the morning.
Nice.
Fun. And then your event is tomorrow? Correct?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so essentially we teamed up with this organization that essentially is like the Visitors Bureau of Albany, and we teamed up with them and the Mohawk Humane Society to create this like super event where it's free to the public, it's free to vendors, and almost just like a pre-party where people can come. I know there's like this video game company that's coming up. So we're going to have like a little video game tournament and different vendors there where people can buy raffle tickets to win like some really cool raffle prizes. And 100% of those proceeds go to the Humane Society. So yeah, it just is a fun way that, when we go to Wadapalooza, we normally do some kind of happy hour meet and greet after the event. And I think there was one year where we did it before the event. And this was just like a different way that we could kind of activate with the community, but also while giving back. So it should be fun.
And there are going to be puppies, right?
Yes.
Love that. I'm so jealous. I think we were texting about this episode a few weeks ago and you said puppies. I was like, I already wanted to go so bad and now I really want to go.
So originally my idea, I was going to bring my dogs, but then
dogs really big?
They are really big.
Not that that's a problem, but like to bring them, that's a whole thing.
So I wanted to bring them, and I wanted to host an event at like a dog park or a park where we could do fitness outside. But when you work with dogs, that like aren't part of the Humane Society, and when you do it at an offsite place, there's a lot of like legalities and and it ends up getting pretty expensive on like the insurance that you need for that, and it just got a little crazy. And then I was like, like then what am I going to do with my dogs for the rest of the weekend here? So this is where we landed.
Somebody asked, maybe you can answer, Albany or Albany?
Albany. Like it, like there's 2 L's, but there's only one. Albany, New York.
Albany. Yep. I've heard at least 16 different ways to pronounce it, I feel like, across all of the shows. So
for once, I'm actually the one that knows how to pronounce the word. It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, I wear that like a badge of honor.
I love that.
So you've been hot topic the last few weeks. We're not going to sweep it under the rug, but we're going to start with 5 rapid fire questions. And then we're going to kind of get into the nitty gritty of it.
Okay, cool. Sounds good. I'm ready.
First question. Do you have a media pass for the CrossFit Games?
I do.
Okay.
Is it enhanced access?
No, it is not. Can't read my email, apparently.
Did you do the 2025 CrossFit Open?
No.
Do you hate CrossFit?
Also, no.
And the most important one, what was your bench press PR?
Oh, 175.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Woohoo. Yeah. Good time. 5-pound PR.
We both saw that this morning, and Mesa sent it to me. She's like, let's talk about this. And I like literally had just watched it on your page. I was like, this was amazing. I loved it.
Awesome.
You were
so
hyped.
You know, some people will stay very stoic and be really humble about their wins. But I'm like, no, half of the fun is bringing the hype, whether it's dancing after
hard for it. Get it.
Yeah. Or like screaming or yelling. And yeah, maybe there's a time and place where you don't want to do that, but I'm all about the hype. I'm here to hype other people. I'm here to hype myself. Like that's what makes it fun to work out in a gym and not be alone.
Hell yeah. I love that. I was actually going to ask you when I saw that if you were dropping in, because I didn't know if you were still home or not, but that was at your home gym.
Yeah. CrossFit Syracuse. Okay. That was my first, not my first CrossFit gym, but the first one that I dropped into and obviously became a member when I moved to Syracuse.
Okay. Someone said she tapped into her rage. That's what made the lift. That is always helpful for sure to prove everybody wrong.
My spotter and friend Javier, he was the one that, spotted the lift. Him and I were just like chit-chatting before, and he said something that really like got under my skin, and I was like, I normally am not a rage lifter. I'm normally like a hype lifter. And I was like, oh, you kind of made me mad with that. Like,
I love it.
And he goes, use the anger and lift the bar. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm going to try this methodology of being mad.
Ryan wants to know, what was the previous PR?
170.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. 5 pounds makes a difference for sure.
It does.
Especially on bench. I feel like bench is a hard one to PR, especially for girls.
Yeah, like a bench press PR and a snatch PR. I feel like those two, they don't happen very often. That honestly, even if it was a 1 pound PR, the celebration would have been the same.
Yes, agreed. So hard.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we talked about the media access. Tell me about like how that happened. Tell us the timeline. What went wrong? Let's hear it.
Yeah. So
here we go.
I try to be comfortable when I speak and feel like I'm in safe spots, but apparently everybody's always listening and watching that,
That's a good thing though. If they're watching you, it's a good thing.
Right. And they're living rent free, or I'm living 100%. Rent free. So Sean had asked me on the Talking Elite Fitness podcast, have you gotten access for the games yet? What's it look like? And I basically said, yeah, I have access, but I was granted media access, but there was no like guidelines into what that entails. And I get it. Sometimes information comes out segmented and not all at once, but it really wasn't clear on anything. I would say, and maybe it's because my relationship has been different with people based on like who's working the media side of things. Like Chris Madigan, he was from like an outside media company that the CrossFit Games had hired for the last, I would say 4 or 5 years. So over the last 4 or 5 years, him and I had built a relationship where, you know, if he communicated something, I could very easily text him or email him back and be like, hey, what does this mean? Or what's a timeline for this? And whether he had the information or not, he would get back pretty quickly. And so once I got the original email that I was granted a media pass and said, hey, what does this mean? You know, in the past, I either did or didn't have access to athletes. And just because of the role that I hold, because what I do is athlete interviews, I just want to know, like, am I going to have that type of access, or is this going to be a situation where I'm texting the athletes or DMing them to get access to them? And they said, it was pretty much like, oh, like, let me look into this. And then I didn't hear anything. And at this point, you know, we're cutting it close, and it wasn't ever like about me, because if I'm having these questions, I'm sure other media has questions, and people pay a lot of money to go and cover an event, whether they're selling sponsorship or trying to monetize on YouTube or, you know, whatever it may be. So I was really just looking for clarity, and that's what I had said on the podcast. Well, then it turns into this thing where Lauren's hated CrossFit all season long. She didn't even sign up for the Open, and now she expects to get these things, which that wasn't the intent. If it was taken that way, you know, I'll own that and apologize if it came off as if I was trying to, or if I was acting entitled. Again, I was just trying to get transparency on what the landscape would be like. For instance, when I go to the Rogue Invitational, I know that their media access is very much locked in. And depending how the layout is going to determine whether you have access to, you know, athletes or whatever. So I was at my nephew's birthday party, and I see that I'm tagged in a post, and I don't like really read it. I half read it, and, you know, it was just basically saying I've been trashing CrossFit all season, and why would I ever get a pass for enhanced access, even though at the time I wasn't even asking for that. I was just asking for clarity. And in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, I read an email from CrossFit this morning. Like, I do have enhanced access, so this is irrelevant anyways. But again, like, my brother was in town. It was a Saturday, my nephew's birthday party. I half read an email, and it was a very long email. So I looked at it. It looked like I had enhanced access. You know, I was on my way. So then I was doing a Q&A with Tommy that people who pay for our Patreon subscription are able to watch. So, you know, we do a little special thing for the people that support us. And somebody asked what I thought of, I think Clydesdale made a comment, and they asked what I thought about it. And I was like, oh, honestly, like, I haven't seen what their comment is, but at the end of the day, I have enhanced access, so it doesn't really matter. And then that turned into, I'm a liar. Like, we demand she shows us proof of the email. And it's just like, guys, like, let's relax. How many times have we gotten an essay email that you skim the top and you don't read the whole thing? And eventually I would read the whole thing, but I very much operate as like, what's the information I need at this time? And I'm going to digest it as I go. So it turned into this big thing. I think it's a shame that people are saying that I tried to get Dave fired, or I said that I wanted Dave fired, because if I actually said those words, you bet your bottom dollar that would have been cut and posted online. But I have yet to see anybody post me saying that Dave should be fired. So I don't know, like, how that's adding into it. And yeah, I didn't sign up for the Open, and we can get into that, but I don't think that means somebody doesn't like or support CrossFit. I think that's a bigger conversation.
We started to have this conversation last week, and we'll definitely get into it. But before we do, what is enhanced access? How does one get it? Tell me kind of the difference in like levels of media.
Yeah. So I think enhanced access started either 2 or 3 years ago. It was when Sevan came back for the behind the scenes stuff. So Dave was originally fired. He then got rehired, and it was, I think, that first year, if I'm remembering the timeline correctly. But I don't think that enhanced access was ever a thing before that. And so when I saw, I can't remember if that was the first or second year, but when I saw that Sevon, Craig Ritchie, and there's another group that and the Buttery Bros all had enhanced access, the first thing I did was I reached out to the media contact and I was just like, hey, I see that they're getting enhanced access, or I hear that they are. What are the steps that I need to do to apply for it? Do I need to fill out a form that shows, subscribers, views, the amount of content we're putting out, some kind of form? And I was told that there's no formal way to apply. It's just something that I have no idea who makes the decision, but somebody is saying, hey, I want these outlets to get the enhanced access. So that was something that I always kind of pushed for, in the sense of, hey, if enhanced access is a thing, you should give people the opportunity to apply for it. And I get it. Like, every industry in the world plays politics and favorites. And I never was upset about that, but it just, okay, if all outside media, because they have their own media team and they get everything, as they should. They're the people being paid by HQ. But if the outside media is outside, in some respects, we should be treated the same. And there should be the opportunity, and not should, because I don't think anybody deserves anything, but like, it would be nice if there was a way that we could apply for it. And if you want to then deny me and other people, great. I know that at least I had the opportunity to apply. So there was never a way to apply for it. But 2 years ago, so I think that was the second year that there was enhanced access, which again, I have never, ever gotten approved or been told that I'd have enhanced access. But through relationships that I had built, they allowed me to stay in the tunnel, essentially, so that when athletes came off the floor, they literally gave me like a personal volunteer. They're like, you cannot go into the warm-up area, but you can stay right here. Here is our volunteer. Get what you need, and then be gone. Essentially. And I was like, okay, I know what the rules are. I will follow within the parameters. Great. Then last year, everything that happened, I don't know who was approved for enhanced access, but because of what happened at the games, everything changed. And it was every day, essentially, we were being told on like where you can go, like, can we speak to athletes? So last year was different. The year before was even a little different. And now we're here.
Brandon, I think, is saying that was the volunteer that was with you.
Brandon. Well, Rob, maybe you, I know, like I called him like my independent volunteer was Rob, but Brandon, I know who you are. And yes, I've seen you many times. Are you going to Albany? Are you in Albany? What's the status there?
So it sounds like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that enhanced access is almost like handpicked at random, depending on kind of like who's calling the shots. But also, I think you bring up a fair point that this is a new venue.
Yes, Brandon.
This is a new venue, so it's not like we've been here for many years before and we know exactly where the athlete warm-up area is going to be and like where the different tunnels. So I think it's fair to assume, if there's not a lot of structure in regards to media in years past, that you really don't know what you're going to walk into when you get there. It's not like it's the same thing every year, right?
Yes, and every venue is going to have, like, the media area is going to be bigger, smaller. It's always going to change. I do know from the couple people that I reached out to ask, like, hey, now that I know what my credential means, because I've been called out, and then I went back and read my email. Then the first thing I did was I reached out to somebody who I know and said, hey, this is where I'm located. Is that going to be in an area where I'll be able to pull athletes aside? And they basically were like, no, the way that they're coming off the floor, you won't be able to unless somebody allowed you to. But again, I'm not here trying to ask for special treatment or to ask for something that I wasn't given, but just having a lay of the land is a good thing to go into it, knowing that, okay, if I'm on the floor, maybe that's not the best place for me. Maybe the best place is for me to be in the parking lot watching the live stream and waiting for people to come outside, which I've done before. I have no problem being innovative. So who knows?
So you were very diplomatic in your answer about how nobody deserves anything and all that. But I will say, like, I I think like the same way a lot of us have asked for a more systematic season, more systematic rules. It applies the same thing on the media side, right? Like having enhanced media that nobody knows how you get there. Like you have a job to do, just like everybody else, and showing up and not being able to excel or get the access you want or having no path towards that has to be frustrating, right? Like it's like, how do I get there? And it's not even like, why are they there and I'm not? It's like you're asking what you need to do to get to that point and you're not being given that. And I think that, like, I'll say it for you, is very unfair because you've been and it's not like you're a random person that's like, give me a media credential. Like you've been doing this for years. You're a household name. Like, is it hard to prepare when you're trying to be like, this is what the content I'm going to create, this is what I'm going to do, when you don't really know what it's going to look like?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely creates its own challenges, and I would be lying if I said that it wasn't frustrating. I do understand from an optics perspective, maybe why they wouldn't have wanted to give me enhanced access, because although I do not believe that, I mean, first of all, I don't think that there's anything on a podcast I've said that I regret or don't stand by, because I do believe that CrossFit or whoever should be held accountable for actions. I'm not saying that people necessarily need to be fired or that I hate anyone or hate the methodology. I would never say that, but things needed to change. And I do think that some of those changes were made, and I can understand why they wouldn't want to give enhanced access to somebody who was critical of them. But again, if you are being a good journalist, it is your job to not just be a yes man or woman. It is your job to be critical. It's your job to sometimes hold people to the fire. And if people are upset about that or hate me for that or think a certain way, that's fine. I am confident enough in what I'm doing and knowing that at the end of the day, I want to create good content. I want to create positive content. I want to highlight these incredible athletes and tell their stories and get more people into CrossFit affiliates. Just because that is true doesn't mean that I can't also ask for better solutions. Yeah. So when it comes to having systems in place, so it was previously Chris Madigan, who he was kind of our point person who we would go to for media pass access questions, things like that. And I remember last year when maybe it was a semifinal, I don't think it was the games, but they were pretty late with giving people a yes or a no whether they got a media pass. Mm-hmm. And I texted him and I was like, hey, can we just jump on a quick call? We jumped on a call and I said, Chris, you have to give people more of a heads up. People are spending so much money to come to the event, highlight the event. And he was like, well, I work in other major sports and 3 months is kind of the timeline. And I said, that's great for other sports, but you have to understand, like, okay, if I work for Fox Sports, I absolutely know that I'm going to cover the NFL season. I'm going to the Super Bowl. I know that it's guaranteed that I'm doing that work. If I work in the CrossFit space, no, can you sell sponsorship? What kind of access are you getting? Like, it doesn't work on the same scale as a big sport quite yet. So you need to give people more of a heads up. And I asked him, hey, why can't on January 1st or whatever it is, hey, all media who wants to come to any of our events this season, apply. And then you know that you're either yayed or nayed for all of the events. Like, why are you applying for individual events? And I get like now because those individual events run their own media and it's independent. But in the past, it would have been better, I think, for brands, media. And again, I'm not talking just about me. I'm talking about everybody, just to be clear, that I think it would have prevented a lot of headaches for people. And I don't know if that really answered your question, but
Yeah. I was talking, me and Mesa talked on the phone the other day. We always say this. We end up yapping, but like before the episode, and then we're like, wait, no, we should talk about this on air. And we were talking about this situation, and we were like, what do you think really happened? And I was like, it's just, we just saw what happened with Annie on that podcast talking about the water during the Murph event. And like somebody can say something so small, just like you being like, oh, I just like read an email and yeah, I think so. And it shouldn't be that big of a deal. But in this space, it just like blows up to something insane. The fact that it's the CrossFit Games this week and like people are talking about you instead of what's going on during the week of the games is crazy. And I just think, and I say it sucks all the time, but it does suck that like not that we shouldn't think about what we say before we say it, but like something as simple as just like, oh yeah, I read the email and I have the access, and it gets blown up like this is, to me, so crazy.
I think for a lot of things, context matters.
Yep.
And everybody's going to take it for however they want to take it. Saying that I lied. Why would it? Let's really break this down. Why would I lie about the access I have? How is that a power play? I'm going to then show up and look like an idiot. When
like they're going to know. They're going to know.
We're going to find out.
Real soon.
But then it was like, well, she did that because she thought that saying she had it would somehow get her to have it if she didn't, which, guys, since when has anybody bent the knee to outside media? Never.
When these kind of things happen, and this is like kind of a really personal question, but like, does it bother you? Or like, have you been in the space for so long, you're like, oh, it'll be gone next week? Or like, what goes on in your head when something like this like pops off?
Again, I would be lying if I said that it didn't bother me at all or didn't affect me, because again, when those things happen, it's really just a distraction more than anything. It's an energy suck when people are sending me things that I'm being tagged in, and I'm trying to like be present in whether I'm working in the weekend at a different event, or whether I'm at a family thing, or maybe I'm just watching Love Island on my couch and trying to decompress. It sucks when people are negatively talking about you, and especially when you feel like they're misrepresenting your character. I think that's the hardest thing, especially because I'm not going to get into the comment section. I'm not going to argue.
Yep.
At the end of the day, you just kind of have to rely on that. I know who I am. I know the intent. I reached out to a couple people just to say, hey, like, be totally bluntly honest with me. Am I an asshole? Am I the asshole? You know what I mean? Like, when I'm at events, am I a bully to people? Do I act entitled? Like, try to give me an idea of what reality is, because sometimes, when you see a lot of the noise, it's hard to know, but I feel grateful for the support system that I do have, and the people that did reach out to me. And at the end of the day, it's chatter. I'm still getting jobs. I'm still working. I'm still going to the games. I'll still get athlete interviews. So I try not to waste a lot of energy on that kind of stuff.
So a lot of people are asking, and we know we're going to talk about the Open, right? Like, I think someone said this, as a prominent person in the CrossFit space, can you see how vocally announcing that you would not participate in the Open would be interpreted as a statement, encouraging others to do the same? And there was a few comments like asking about why you didn't do the Open. So tell us why.
It just didn't feel right to me at the time. It's not that I don't support CrossFit. It's not that me not signing up for the Open is a nail in the coffin. I'm never doing this again. It wasn't a I'm out situation. It was just, hey, I need to take a step back. I need to really reevaluate what values are in line with me. What do I want to see when it comes to accountability? Because I think, unfortunately, with a lot of things, being accountable can be determined in so many definitions. So what did that mean to me? And if I'm saying that I think certain changes should be made, and then I still sign up for the open, it just didn't feel like I was putting my money where my mouth is. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I also, I just needed a moment to step away. So I also thought, okay, but if I'm saying that I still support the methodology and I support affiliates, what is something that I can do that does feel really in line with me?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm not signing up for the open, as in I'm not paying the $25, but I can go highlight some really awesome affiliates that are doing Friday night lights, and they do have people signing up for the open. And all of the affiliates I highlighted were open for at least 10 years. And I think that that is a testament to the methodology works and people want to feel part of a community. So that's why I still wanted to do something, but signing up just didn't feel right. And I think I saw a comment that, I say that I support the athletes, but paying this year went to their prize pool. I was one of the first to say, I think that is, I am not in line with that as a decision. From a business, I get it. But also it almost felt like, okay, we want to get people to sign up for the open. People say that they support the athletes. So we're going to tie your registration fee to their prize purse. And that just didn't sit well for me, because it felt like, okay, I can't win now because I want to support the athletes. Yes. But then when I said that it felt like Catholic guilt because I went to Catholic school growing up, people hated me for saying that. They thought it was the craziest comparison. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that it might not feel like that for everyone, but that was the initial reaction for me.
No, I definitely felt the same way. And so neither Mesa or I signed up for completely, well, some different reasons. But again, it's not that we hate CrossFit and want it to die and don't want it to be here anymore. Like, not at all. But after your podcast with Gluten Things, somebody said, like, grieving differently. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. Like, our community has never been through something like this before. Mm-hmm. Whether you were at the games, whether you were at home watching, we are such a small community. Like, we know people who know, like, we are all still involved. And who is somebody to say, like, how we should or should not grieve? Or, you just may need time. Like you said, like, I don't really know where my head's at. It doesn't feel right. So, like, give me this season or this year to just kind of, like, feel it out and see where I'm at. And, like, since when is that wrong? That's crazy.
Well, and it felt like, so if I did sign up for the open, that felt like a decision that I would have made to prevent being talked about and to prevent being controversial. Like, when I tried to, I'm a big list person. I love to make a good pros and cons list when I'm making a decision. And when I did that, it felt like, okay, I still want to get jobs in the media space, and I still really want to call play-by-play and announce. And, like, I think that if I don't sign up for the open, that could be the end of a career that I've tried so hard to build. And that didn't feel good, going to bed every night knowing that not signing up for the open could have been the nail in my coffin to I'm telling you, the biggest dream I've ever had in my life is to be broadcasting at the CrossFit Games.
Yep.
And it also didn't sit well with me if I were to do it for those reasons. That felt selfish and that felt disingenuous to me. So it wasn't a decision that I made overnight. It was even a decision I talked with my therapist about. Like,
yeah. And, like, going off what you said, so I have done the open every year besides last year for a very similar, like, and that was going to be my 8th or 9th open. It wasn't like, I've done it for a long time. And I chose not to do it because I wanted to put my money where my mouth is. Like you said, like, if I believe that change is necessary, the only way me as a person who doesn't have much influence or power can, like, potentially create change is financially, right? Like, I don't participate in paying money to something that I may not stand with at the moment. And I think what people think, like, in a lot of the reactions I just got in my community were like, as if that was like a screw you to CrossFit. This is blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I think people don't realize that was actually like very hard for me. Like I wanted to do the open. I love
Yeah.
the open. It's been something I've looked forward to every single year, whether it's for judging my friends, but like, it wasn't like I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it. Like F you. It was pretty sad because I was like, damn, this is a time that I normally like love the community. I look forward to Friday night. I'm so excited. And I, like you did it with, you know, broadcasting different affiliates and stuff. I was in my local gyms helping out, and people saying like, how could you condone other people doing it? Because other people don't have to grieve or make decisions the way I do, right? They can do what they want to do, and I can respect that. But I think people forget that like this is such a part of who we are and what we do, that it's not like a fun decision to feel like when it feels disingenuous to support. Like I want to feel good about supporting them. And I'm sure like you guys can agree. And I think some of these comments are just like, well, like that's the only way you could show like you're bringing the community together. And I like could not disagree more, because all I want would be the community to come together. And it was a very difficult decision to make.
And that's a good point. So Jeremy says there was an opportunity for the community to come together and rally around each other. It was signing up for the open. I did every single open workout this year in my affiliate. I judged people. I cheered people on. Lauren was in there covering it and doing it. Mesa, like, we did everything that we probably would have done normally, except pay the $20 or $25 to CrossFit.
So and the money is not what brings the community together. The money is
we are still fostering the culture of CrossFit and bringing the community together. We just didn't pay CrossFit. And like, as of now, like that kind of affects more of the athletes. And that's a whole nother like thing to talk about. But if we're talking about community, like I feel like we all did our jobs. We did everything we would have done anyway, right?
And at the end of the day, and Jeremy, him and I have had some very good conversations. And I do believe that for the most part, Jeremy is open-minded, but I disagree with this comment because I have never been a yes person. I'm not somebody that's just going to turn my head the other way and say yes. If I stay true to myself and believe in what I believe, and I'm open to other opinions and getting new information, but I don't think that just having everybody, you know, go against your gut and go against what feels right to you, and like, let's just all sign up for the open and hope that things are different in the future. I don't think that would have built community.
Yep. Agreed. Isolating people because they don't pay $25 to do the open is far more of a bad look. Don't disagree. And that kind of brings us to what we were going to talk about. Is we brought it up for a little bit last week, but wanted to save it here. Like, Mesa and I look at you as somebody, especially as a female, who has really paved the way. Like, we might not be able to have this platform and to do this kind of thing if it wasn't for you. And I think that is so disrespectful to isolate people because of that one thing. Or it just seems so silly in the grand scheme of things to be like, oh, well, Lauren hates CrossFit, but like we forget all of the things that you have done. And Tommy and everybody else that's, you know, under fire, depending on the week. I just think that's so unfair because you have done a lot for CrossFit along with the others, and hearing that stuff and isolating people, I do think makes us look bad.
At the end of the day, the people getting involved in those comment sections, those are never going to be people who support what you, me, or anybody else does, you know? And I think that getting in person at events, you see a lot of good in the community, and you see that there are people who still are able to critically think, are able to have conversations where you can have differing opinions, but nobody's yelling at each other, just trying to be the loudest person in the room. Not just in the CrossFit space, but in a lot of spaces. It's the loudest people that get the biggest platforms, or you think, oh my God, everybody hates me. No, that's not true. Just a couple of loud people that you would never go to for advice or to have like an intellectual conversation with. And I mean, I still got hired by the Fittest Experience to do their broadcast. So I'm still part of the CrossFit space. I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Even if I have to text athletes to get interviews, I'm still going to be here. And, you
Hell
know,
yeah.
y'all are still going to be here too. And I think that it's okay to have differing opinions in
Yep.
media spaces and different styles. I think that that's absolutely okay, because then you get to reach different people. And
Yep.
I think a diverse media landscape is a healthy media landscape. But I think that attacking people and trying to bring down people's character, misrepresenting how people actually are, I think there's a problem with that. And I think that it's a shame that there's so much noise around that, because while you can have different opinions and different styles of coverage, I think going after people is different than going after topics.
Yep.
Right. Or like Sean says it the best. He's like, performance, not people. And I think that if we can lean into that more, so if I'm going to talk about Lauren, like, yeah, like her chest to bar pull-ups are really weak right now. I don't predict she's going to do well in this workout, rather than, man, Lauren is so weak. She absolutely sucks at chest to bar. She's probably going to do singles, like you're still getting to the same point, but yeah, the delivery is different. And I think
But that's where I think like you straight up come out and say, I'm trying to be a journalist. And I think a lot of people in the media space they have said, like, who said we're journalists? We're not.
Yep.
And I think that's the line, right? If you're like trying to be a journalist, commenting on performance over people would make sense. But I think unfortunately, maybe fortunately, some people would say, a lot of people with big platforms are not quote unquote trying to be journalists, right?
Yeah. I think that that's a good point, because again, if even like what you can say online based on what category you fall under, that's also going to determine like what you can say without getting a strike isn't the right word, but you know what I mean? Like a slap on the wrist. Like, yeah. So here we are.
So kind of an unrelated question. Kate mentioned how we talked about like you're one of the first bigger female names in the space. And I know I've gotten flack before for talking about being a girl, but I don't really care. When we were at WFP,
we are girls.
And that apparently nobody cares, but I'll say it anyways. When we were at WFP and we were in the external media room, it's primarily, men. There's a few women, but it's mostly men. And that was one of the reasons we were like, damn, it'd be cool to have kind of like a girl's perspective on some of the things happening. Can you talk a little bit about your experience? Because you were kind of probably the very first or top 3 maybe ever woman in the space. Like, how has that been? Do you feel like there's been any changes over the years with that?
I would say for the most part, a lot of the male counterparts in the media space are very kind and they're very easy to work alongside. At first, when I was trying to get my foot in the door and doing athlete interviews, I even remember I have this very vivid memory of it was me and PC. We were at the finish line in North Park, and I think it was my first year with Morning Chalk Up doing athlete interviews. And, I'm all 5'1". Everybody in that media area is, bigger than me for the most part. And I'm like, PC, how am I going to get these interviews? Like, I literally can't even get through these people. And he shouted, I think that was it the first year either Ricky or Roman? It was the first year that they were back at the games. And he shouted, like he leaned over the edge and shouted to get them over to me. And I watched it happen and I was like, okay, this is what I need to do in this type of landscape. So I kind of like bob and weave to like get through people, or like now that I know most of the people, I'll just be like, hey, can I stand in front of you? Because like your camera can literally go over my head. Or, hey, I don't need to get any of these shots. Get your shots. But when they cross the finish line, do you mind if we switch spots so I can grab an interview? And most, not all, most people are very respectful of each other, and we can, even if we're not on the same team, we can work as a great team. Chad is also great, who does a lot of graphics. He's in the space. He was doing athlete interviews for B.Friendly for a little bit. Him and I have always worked very well tandem. He's like, who are you going to get? And I'm like, this person. Who are you going to get? He's like, that person. And okay, like, do we want to like swap after we're done? And you can really work with most people. But yeah, you kind of need to be a bull in those situations because at the end of the day, you got to get a product and you can't just leave and look around and be like, oh, well, I was scared or I was too timid to yell somebody's name or ask if I could go in front of somebody to get space to get the job done. So it's one of those things where, again, you got to be super confident and loud and
we definitely learned that. Yes, at WFP, we definitely learned that because I'm more so on the timid side, especially like around the athletes, and Mesa is not as much as me, but we definitely learned after the weekend that you just have to kind of have a little confidence. And like you said, you have a job to get done. So it doesn't seem silly. I don't know.
But some people take it as you're being rude or you're being aggressive. And again, to my knowledge, and I would be happy to have conversations if like there is anybody that I was rude to or came off as abrasive or anything. But like, I know if I've, bumped and grind in there, I'm normally like, oh, sorry, I stepped on your foot. Like, I'm running to this athlete, or, you try to be as respectful as possible. But again, it's the heat of the moment. Everybody is in there. Everybody's underfed, underslept, underhydrated. Like you don't always see the best selves of people in those situations. And if you just understand, like, okay, I know you in an outside situation, you're a pretty decent human. I don't think you were trying to be an asshole. Like, let's move on.
For sure. And I think, like you said, when I was at WFP, that was my first time doing athlete interviews. And everyone was pretty welcoming. Like everyone was pretty nice to me, introduced themselves, talked a lot. There just, again, was just not a lot. Noticed there was not a lot of females. It's just mostly men. So I was nervous, not because of that, just because, like you said, it was my first time and they just kind of threw me in the deep end. So this is so PC coded. He handed me the camera and was like, go. And I was like, oh, okay, great.
You'll be fine. You're going to do great.
And after you get the first one out of the way and you're like, okay, this is not as scary as I thought. And the athletes tend to be very nice and talkative. It was pretty easy. But that's so funny that PC did that because I feel like that's so PC coded. That's exactly what he does.
Yep.
Before we let you go, because it is the week of the games, we got to know your podium pick for men and women.
Ooh, okay.
Let's hear it.
It's so hard.
We've been back and forth. At one point, I just had to be like, "This is it. I don't know. We'll take it."
I'm just gonna lean into it.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting to the point, other than Tia, because Tia gonna do Tia things. Other than that, we're at the point where I do think that there's so many athletes on the men and women, that you could interchange. Like
there's like 8 that could be podium.
8 to 10 that I could nod my head and say, that person's on the podium, or, oh yeah, that person didn't make the podium because so-and-so did.
Yep.
Okay. So for, let's start with women because we're a bunch of women. So we'll lead with them. Okay. So I think, I do know this one off the top of my head. Tia. Shocker. Clip just that. Lauren thinks Tia's going to win. Ariel Lowen.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And are you ready for the last one?
Yeah.
Lucy Campbell.
That's who I have as my third. Okay.
Really?
Same.
So we're doing all 30 predictions. We'll release them tomorrow. But mine for the top 3 is Tia. I have Danielle in second, and then Lucy Campbell in third.
I have Tia DB,
I like it.
and then I put Brooke Wells in third.
Crazy.
Ooh.
Which is a crazy pick, but also I just feel like it's her last year and she might just send it. And I don't know. You got to throw in some curveballs.
Dark horse.
We're doing like whoever loses at the end, me or Kate, the other person has to write a workout for them to do. And Kate,
great bet.
Yeah, and we're both good at like opposite things, so it's great. And Kate tags me yesterday and she's like, "Do you think it's crazy if I don't put Tia as winning?"
Oh my god, she's exposing.
And I was like, yeah, if you want to do the workout I have planned for you, sure, because that's what's going to happen.
But sometimes it's fun when you
Yeah, that's why I
don't
put Brooke
do the
Wells in there
obvious
because
choice.
you
Yeah.
never know.
Again,
Yep.
Brooke is going for
Super
10. She's got nothing to lose at this
Yeah,
point
I think
because
it's
it's her
fun.
last games. She's just going to roll up in that cool jacket that says Wells and 10 on the back. And she's gonna
And
be
it's timeless. It was so
like,
cool.
okay, time for business, baby. Let's go.
And then
Who
the
do you-
men is even crazier because
Yeah.
it's like even the top one.
Who do you have for men?
So it's funny because me, Sean, and Tommy are playing. We did last week buy or sell with the women's field, and this week we're doing the men's field. And it's so hard because you have so many like guys in this field who have won the games, where
Yep.
the other field's like, okay, Tia for the last almost decade, essentially. And it's like, okay, you have Justin Medeiros, who's won twice. You have Jeffrey Adler, who's there. You have James Sprague there.
And then all
you-
the brute boys, honestly.
all the brute boys. You have Ricky there. You have Roman there. Like several people who have either not won or been on the podium before. So trying to predict the men's
and like
podium.
with the season Colton's had, Jay has had, like there's
Austin Hatfield, like
Yep.
who do you
Yep.
have who do you have on your podium for men?
I'm still not going to bet against Jeff Adler.
Okay.
I still do think that he can reclaim the title.
Okay.
After him,
Dum dum dum.
Really putting you on the spot.
and it's funny because normally I don't like to give predictions because then people will get angry and then they'll claim that I'm an analyst. But y'all, like, have you met me? I'm not good with numbers. I would never ever be
It's
an
also
analyst.
just fun.
Yeah, we're just
It
having
is.
fun.
Just for fun. I'm not trying to make enemies, but okay. So I think Jeff, Dallin, Roman.
Oh,
Oh.
wow. That's
I'm stressing out. I'm sweating. Do I have regrets? No, I'm gonna lean into it.
I have Austin, then Jeff, then Dallin.
You think Austin's gonna win? Oh, I love that.
I think he could.
I had just opposite. I had Dallin, Jeff, and then Austin. So we're Mason and I's picks are pretty similar for the men, all like 1 through 30. I don't know. It's gonna be really interesting, which makes it exciting. And that's why like I kind of poo-pooed on Tia coming back, because while she is great, like you obviously know she's gonna win, and that's fantastic. But the men's side is gonna be so much more exciting, I feel like.
Well,
to-
I think
to see
that's
who
why
makes
the debate of like, do people prefer Tia there or not prefer Tia is so much fun, because you have half of the population who are like the legacy and what she's done for the sport and how she's elevated it, and we want to see how far she can like take athletic ability. And then you have the other end of the spectrum that's like, no, like we hate knowing who's going to win before we even get there. We want it to come down to the last day, the last workout, which are just two totally different mindsets. And I think it's fun that sports fans can lean both ways.
Everyone says that because we said that we don't respect Tia. And let me just say, they're still saying that. I respect her.
You don't
She's
respect
the
her?
greatest CrossFit athlete. Yeah, because I said like, oh, she's coming back. Everyone's like, you don't respect the champ. And I'm like, no, I do. I like think she's the best of all time.
Performance,
Obviously.
not people.
Yeah.
We always
But I
come back
just,
to
like,
that.
when you have that like last event where it's like neck and neck, and it's like if you win this, you're gonna win the games. That's like so fun, and that's probably what the men's field's gonna be like, and probably what the women's field for second place is gonna be like.
Yep.
For second, third, fourth, maybe
Yeah.
fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely don't think it's a lack of respect. I think it's just like whatever your interest is as a sports fan.
Yeah.
You know, and again, we can have different views and still love the same thing.
Crazy thought.
Mind blowing. What a concept.
Before we let you go, we always ask our guests to give us a hot take. It can be about anything. It can be, mine is that I love Nickelback. It can be about CrossFit. Anything
Ooh.
that you want.
I also
Give
love
us-
Nickelback, so I'll support you on that, Kate.
My people. I love it.
A lot of people supported her on that when
Yeah.
that was your hot take.
Yep. Yep.
My hot take is that ranch is trash.
Oh my God. You have to go.
Bye. See you never. I thought we were friends.
I'm a blue cheese girly.
Oh man, my heart
I
is
know.
broken.
No, but see,
Oh.
this is why I feel like I get along with a lot of ranch lovers because you never need to compete with me.
We don't have to share our stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
true.
gonna have plenty of blue cheese for whatever I want to dip in it, and you're gonna have plenty of ranch. Like, follow and unsubscribe.
You're done. It's worse than the email. Not liking ranch. That's the new thing.
I know.
That's gonna be the headline tomorrow.
Yeah.
You're gonna get enhanced access because geez.
Now I'm gonna get revoked from any access. You really will see me in the parking lot, like. I'm gonna hold up my version of Jason. Was it Jason Hopper or Dale?
Yeah, see my CrossFit competition.
Please come over for an interview.
That would be great. Actually, I feel like
maybe I'll do that. That could be a good idea.
With your enhanced shirt, right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Have to.
I do. If I had enough time, and maybe I'll just go to Walmart and get a white T-shirt and put black Sharpie and just put enhanced on it. You know,
that'd be
do it. Yes, do it.
And blue cheese on the back, maybe.
No, I'm just gonna be mowing down with like a good slice of pizza, maybe some chicken wings and blue cheese.
I'm here for it.
Same, me too.
All
right, guys, go ahead, Mesa. I'll let you.
Thank you so much for being here. I feel like you probably don't remember this, but this was 2 years
I
ago,
remember.
2023.
Crumble cookies.
No, what?
Oh,
that was me.
Oh, that was you, Kate?
The crumble cookies was me. I was actually going to say you probably don't remember me.
Crumble cookies.
What?
Anytime somebody provides crumble cookies, that lives rent free in my brain forever.
That was me.
Kate got them at the CrossFit Games. I think PC like sent you an order to go get them because we hadn't eaten all day.
Also very PC coded. No, like 2 years ago, I was working for Haven, the backpack company, and we gave you. I think we met you and gave you a Haven bag. Yeah. And Kelly was there, and she was like, we were like talking about being in Charleston, and I remember being like, this is so crazy. This is Lauren. Like, I'm talking to Lauren. And I thought it was wild. And now
and then you met me and you're like, oh, she's so weird.
No, not at all. I thought you were the coolest.
It truly comes full circle. It's crazy.
I know. And look, now we're all together. It was really meant to be.
It was. 100%. It was. Who would
we just got to do this in real life now.
I know.
Please. Sometime
soon.
Will
you be at any of the WFP events?
So I'm thinking to go to the finals. I know that's like a jump and a skip, and it's right before Christmas, but it's also like the weekend of my birthday, and I couldn't think of like a better like location to spend it, and around a bunch of.
So maybe we'll do this live in Copenhagen.
Yes,
that could be fun.
Yes, I love that.
We'll make that happen.
I love that.
All right. Well, we'll let you get packing or whatever you need to do before you go. I always put it off. So
I haven't packed.
Knew it.
Yep.
But thank you for coming on. This was just a coincidence. We had talked weeks ago that you were going to come on, but then you got really popular this week. So appreciate it as always for coming on, and we definitely have to do this again soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I had so much fun chatting with both of you, and I love what y'all are doing.
Thank you. We appreciate you. We'll hopefully see you soon, but definitely talk to you.
Yes, fingers crossed.
Right. Bye, Lauren.
Bye.
I promise you, we will.
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about us?
Yeah, go. Okay, bye. When we're supposed to be done at episode 3, like we're fine. Okay.
They said we'll never make it to 10, and this is number 8. So
inching closer.
We really are. That was really fun, guys. Me and Mesa had talked when we first talked about doing the podcast about how there needs to be more women in the space, and we always would talk about Lauren being an example. So that was really cool. It doesn't. Oh, okay. Thank you for clarifying. Not us, WFP.
I think they're going to make it through the season, but whatever. Yeah,
we'll see. We went through and starred a couple comments. If you guys still want to chat, we had some things that we wanted to talk about. This one was wild. Jonathan,
I feel like they would say that about me, if anything, but
WFP's White Knight. I don't know where you've been and if you haven't listened to any of the episodes, but that is not me. Maybe you meant Mesa.
And I wouldn't even say, I mean, Maybe, I don't know.
No, yeah, that's crazy. That was a crazy comment.
I loved this because yes, that was awesome. That PR, I love the like after the lift. That's always hype.
Also, this one, figuring out the time of the show is harder than reading an email from CrossFit letting me know if I have enhanced media access. We do announce like a week ahead of time if it's going to change. Normally it is Thursdays at 7 p.m., but we do have to work around guest schedules sometimes. And I don't know if you know, but it's the CrossFit Games weekend. So people are kind of busy right now. So we had
Especially
to move the
Lauren.
episode a day early, but it's been scheduled for over a week on YouTube and on our Instagram. So I'm sorry that you have a hard time reading. That was really passive aggressive.
I'm so here for it though. What else was in here that it's a starred? Oh, this one was tough, but I'll put it up here. I'll let you. I mean, this isn't really the reason you didn't sign up, so I can take it if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know people will not like this answer, but I think it's I don't know. I think that there's a few things. I would like to see who like buys it. I guess it's kind of been announced, but there like officially hasn't been a lot of talks of what the changes from the new owner look like. I want to see how this games look like. I own a gym now. It is not an affiliate, but I still probably will run the open for people who want to do it here. I think it's kind of like a wait and see, which I'm sure people will think is a terrible answer because I'm supposed to know everything all the time all at once. But I do think I will give it to them. I think they are showing improvements leading up to the games this year. I appreciate some of the safety concerns. I appreciate some of the things that have come out. I wish there was a little more like leading up to it, saying what they were doing, because I think people want to know. I'm one of those people, but they seem to be doing things. I think there has to be some leadership changes. I don't know what that looks like. I literally opened a gym last month, so I am all consumed in that. But I will say I'm open to doing it again. That's where my head's at.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I accidentally unplugged my mic again.
Is that like a fair? I don't know. I think it's while it's been a long time, it also doesn't feel like it's been a long time. And I think that there's still stuff that needs to happen, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
I think a lot of people are still in that like weird middle ground, and maybe we'll have a lot of clarity after the CrossFit Games to see what happens, what that looks like. Are they going to actually implement the changes that they've said? I think that they've taken some steps in the right direction. Obviously, with the whoever buys CrossFit, there's going to be a lot of changes with that regardless. So I think with that looming and the games, once both of those things are concluded, a lot of people can probably make a better informed decision. I have been doing CrossFit. I think this is the year 13 next month, and I've only signed up twice. So like, I'm not even this has literally, like, I can't be more clear that this has nothing to do with what
and I also, someone said it earlier, I think like prior to last year, nobody cared whether you signed up for the open or not. And now they're saying it's like the coin marker of like, if you support CrossFit or not. So I think, which I understand because of the tragedy that happened, there is like different perspectives, but I do think we have to understand that prior to that, no one would have thought you hated CrossFit if you didn't sign up for the open.
Nobody has ever said that to me until this year. Never. I'm like, oh yeah, I haven't done it. And they're like, cool. Okay. Like, yeah, nobody cared, but now all of a sudden they care, because I think it is that one thing that people feel like they can do to show where they stand. And I don't think that's fair to judge somebody based on that, but I think that is the biggest thing where people can really like stick it to CrossFit, like us normal people, if you will. Athletes can decide to like sit out, but the one ththing that we do have control over is if we give CrossFit that $20. And while I think it's very silly, who cares? Like, I don't get it. Who cares? It doesn't make any sense.
Do we have any weekly topics we wanted to discuss?
Haley Adams and Austin Hatfield are dating. I don't know if that was an accidental soft launch on Sevon.
Yeah, but I think everyone kind of knew because of like his whole video was all in her house.
Hold on, pause. Last week, someone had a good point. Pay $20 one time or an affiliate membership all year. That's what I said.
That was your point. That was
Yeah.
literally your Kate's point.
Clip me. Credit. $14,000 I have paid to my local affiliate in the last 13 years, or $250 for CrossFit. Which one means more? And part of that money is going to the athletes, but all of that money is going to my affiliate. I'm just saying.
There's so many comments in here I want to clip, but I'm just gonna let it go.
It's silly. Anyway,
people make a lot of assumptions about what I do and do know about, but do and don't know about. But whatever, it's fine.
Anyway, back to Austin and Haley.
I think it's kind of cute. Like, I've always been a fan of Haley's comeback because use that rage. Sorry. I do get frustrated when people make comments about things that I know or don't know, or entitlement or leadership, when they have no idea of my work background, literally at all.
Let them.
Let them. You're right. I have always been a fan of Haley's comeback because I think it's really cool to just see her healthy and happy in all capacities. And like, regardless of how you feel about her as an athlete or whatever, I think it's so cool to see someone overcome something really difficult and talk about it in a way that is pretty impactful. I think this is probably something a lot of people deal with in and out of the CrossFit space. I also think like it was just cute when she was like, we get to do games training together and like eyes on the prize. I don't know. I thought it was kind of a cute little love story.
I actually had this for a question for Lauren, but then we just yapped a lot. It seems like a lot of athletes and people in the space in general, specifically females, don't ever launch their significant others on social media, which I find so interesting. And I'm sure I'm forgetting some, but like it seems like Haley and Austin are the first ones who have really like put themselves out there in the public eye. And I don't know if that was on purpose. I feel like that was a slip.
I don't think so, because you don't post a story on accident.
No, but that was after it had slipped on Sevon, though.
That's maybe. Well, I mean, I think
house.
For sure. But he asked if she had a boyfriend. She said yes. And then he was like, we all know who it is because of the videos. I mean, I think.
I didn't know.
I saw those videos and I was like, oh, he's staying with Haley because I follow Haley. But who cares? I mean, I also would say maybe, and this might be presumptuous, a reason that a lot of females don't share their significant other is because it could potentially hurt their following. If they have a lot of male following and sponsorships and whatever and are playing off of that angle, men are less likely to follow people just being in a marketing space, like following women that are posting with their significant other, unfortunately. And like, yes, this person said, like, they have to, if they do break up, it becomes public knowledge, all of that. But I thought it was cute. Little mayhem couple. I'm here for it.
I like it. I think it's fun. And I'm sure there's going to be something to cover at some point. It just gets messy when you put it online, I think.
Yeah, but good for them. She seems happy.
Yeah, I think you should. But again, we know how everybody here is. So we just always want the tea. But
100%.
Are we excited for the CrossFit Games? Are we watching the CrossFit Games?
Me? Yeah, 100% I'm watching the CrossFit Games.
Same.
That may surprise people, but I have said time and time again that I love watching athletes throw down. I'm excited to watch. I will be watching between all my clients and classes. I'll have it up on the TV for sure playing. I think that it's fun. I'm excited. I can't wait. We're making predictions. Do you want to? Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of gave it away when we were talking to Lauren, but me and Kate are releasing predictions tomorrow. And then whoever wins at the end of the games or is closer with our picks will have to write a workout for the other person. Are we doing this workout live? What is happening?
I was thinking about this in the shower today.
Shower thoughts about I think we should make you do it live. Like the first.
Why are you saying me?
Or like make the person do it live. So like the podcast after the CrossFit Games, the first like 10 minutes is just one person working out and the other person commentating on it. That'd be funny.
I think we should video it and then we can like clip it. And then we can watch it live on the next episode.
Okay, but we should, if we video it, do it over Zoom. So like if I'm doing it, you can commentate while I'm doing it. Cause I think like, you know how they kind of do on Kill Taylor. I think that'd be funny, but ours would be much less crass.
We'll figure out the logistics, but one of us will be doing a workout. The way that it's going to work is we'll make our predictions. We have a scoring system, and then we're going to go live at the end of every day. So Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and we'll give you guys updates on what our predictions are looking like and who's in the lead. And then loser will do a workout. Winner gets to decide what it is. If you guys have any suggestions on workouts, you can drop them, send us a message.
For those of you that don't know, I love gymnastics. She loves barbell. So just saying. Okay, I just need to put this up really quick before we go. I think this is so funny because everyone thinks Austin is really short, me included. I thought he was pretty short. And then when I was at Wadapalooza, I was standing with Hiller, and Hiller's like, no, he's taller than me. And I was like, no, he's not. And Hiller whips out this video he took where him and Austin are both like tape measuring themselves, and Austin's like 2 inches taller than Hiller. And it wasn't, I think he's just maybe got like a long torso and short legs or something, but he's actually not that short.
He's either like 5'6" or 5'8". Like
I think it was like 5'10" or something. We got to get Hiller. If you hear this, please pull up the video of you measuring him.
I just saw something.
5'10".
I am not picking against Tia. I did.
Oh, sorry. It was just supposed to be funny.
I want to so badly because I'm going to be the only person, one of the only people who probably would predict somebody else. Anything can happen. And I was 100%. At the 2022 games, and she was not looking so hot until the very end. And I know
until like not even the end, the middle, but whatever.
The end. Then she did not do well in 2022. I was there.
Yeah, but it was like because of the. Yeah, okay. She still won by a large margin.
We saw Jeffrey Adler at WFP. He was in the lead until the very last workout, and he dropped fourth because of those dumbbell. Like literally.
Yeah, but when did you say 2022?
Yeah.
I'm about to look at how much she won by because I still feel like it was a ton.
It wasn't until like the very last day she even wore the leader jersey. Laura wore it.
Yeah.
I was crossing my fingers. Sorry, you guys, but I was.
Okay, but she won by over 100 points. I just need you to know that.
Yeah, until the end of, that's what I said. Like the very last day, she like made up a lot of ground, but before that, she did not do great.
Anyways, we will be back literally later this week doing lives, probably around 6 p.m. is our goal on Friday because I work until 6 with a coach class. So at 6, and then Saturday, Sunday, we'll do it kind of at the end of the games day. We'll just go live, talking about our picks, talking about what happened. Excited to see the back squat. I'm super excited about that. The Boys Interrupted did like the worst programmed event and best programmed event today, and I watched their podcast, and they said that this new one event, I think 9, the like 200-foot run and the snatches, was the worst program event, and it was actually one that I'm extremely excited for. And I think they were wrong about it because they said it's like a quarterfinal workout, which I understand, but I think it's actually going to be so exciting because people are going to have to go ball to the wall. Yeah, because it's light enough to. They wanted it heavier. I don't know, but it was interesting. So I'm excited. I think so far the workouts have been really fun that have been announced. It's so much running, which also played into my prediction of not putting Dallin to win because of the running.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I just think I went on B.Friendly when me and PC did the open predictions, or we recapped the open, and I think somebody can probably clip me saying I thought Dallin was going to win. So I'm going to stick true to that because you never know.
Well,
you never know.
I'll see you in 2-3 days.
Yes. We'll release our picks tonight, and then comment.
You can all hate us.
Yeah, we're not analysts, you guys. We're just doing this for fun, and the boys, PC and Brian, aren't doing them for individuals. So we're just having fun with it. So we will see you on Friday evening around 6 o'clock.
See ya.